Let's start this particular interview on a very, very light note, my dear friends. As I say, success in competitive exams is like Wi Fi, stay connected. Keep trying, and eventually you will get the strongest signal. Good evening and a very, very warm welcome each and every one on Supergrad's YouTube channel. Now it's turn of NIRMA University. Yes, a very warm welcome, Debasis Malik sir. We have been waiting since long. कि NIRMA University is particular platform पे आए and we can have one-on-one interaction. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm so sorry that we were like working with the dates and we had to wait for some time. But finally, I'm extremely glad and delighted that I'm there on your platform and we are together today. Thank you so much.
Okay, let me introduce Debasis sir to you all. So Debasis Malik, a PhD in economics, has 30 years of experience in teaching, research, accreditation, and academic leadership. He has contributed to big institutes like SPJIMR Mumbai for the period of 18 years. It was great to know that particular part, sir. Then PIMR Indore for over 2 years and is now working along with NIMA University Ahmedabad. At SP Jain, he started the global management program, the one which we were talking about a few days ago, right? Expanding it to over 10 international partners and facilitating global placements. At PIMR, he launched two centers of excellence and a 1 year PGDBA program with global collaborations. Now, at NIRMA University, he has initiated partnerships with Michigan State University, UC Davis, and the University of Illinois, if I'm not wrong. Chicago, enhancing global outreach. His focus remains on curriculum management, student experience, and accreditation. Very warm welcome, sir. And let's start with the very first question now. NIRMA University was pioneer in starting the IPM program, and that was way long in 2019. So, how has that particular program, the BBA MBA integrated program, evolved since then?
Yeah, I think it is doing quite well. And as you know, we generally recruit our students through the IPMAT, IPMAT format.
Right.
And the program is doing excellently well. And in fact, many times we see that the BBA MBA, I mean, the integrated MBA students are slightly better than the MBA students. They
Yeah.
are smarter also,
What could be the
especially
reason
when.
behind that? I mean, that's an interesting talk in the very first line itself. So, what could be the reason? Perhaps because they're 18 years old and someone who is joining at 22 years old, there may be the difference over there, right? Or something
No,
else.
it's that's the I don't know. There may be a socio-economic angle to the whole issue also. Many a times, you need to be bit forward-looking and far-sighted to guide to help your kids or the kids themselves to understand that perhaps integrated program can reap better benefits for me than to go for any undergrad program and later coming to MBA. So it's a bit of farsightedness, I would say, and generally people who are farsighted um, might also
Perform
be
well, yeah,
smart.
perhaps. All right, sir. Moving on, and let me ask one more question because perhaps a bit related as well to this the answer. The
Yeah.
extracurricular part plays a very significant role when we talk about the kids who are actually pursuing the IPM program. So, before and after versions, what role does extracurricular play, and are we also focusing on some extracurriculars within the campus?
Actually, forget about what we do, but even otherwise, a lot of research has shown that the absorption of students is the least in the classroom.
Right.
As a professor, it breaks my heart to say this, but it is such a big reality.
And
So
it may be because majority पढ़ाई तो आखिरी वाले दिन ही होती है, that thought process inside the head, right?
correct.
Right. Yeah.
Correct, correct. So we acknowledge that factor, and actually, something even more important is today's kids don't come to the class with a fresh mind.
Right.
Before coming, in our days, olden days, we used to wake up, we used to take a shower, we used to do some yoga or meditation, and then travel by train or bus, and then come to the
And
class.
come to the class.
Today's kids, before coming to the class, they have already spent 3 hours on internet,
They consume a
and
lot of content. Yeah.
yes, and that though they are sitting in the class same time, 9 o'clock, like we used to sit, but they have already spent 3 hours on the
On the
internet.
internet. Yeah.
Their minds are exhausted right in the beginning, first class itself.
First class.
Okay. And we as professors, many times we feel that, oh my God, these fellows are buddhus. 10 years back, students used to be sharper. But actually, it is just the opposite.
Opposite. Yeah.
These people have already spent 3 hours.
3 hours.
So you are expecting them to be having fresh mind, but they don't.
Hmm.
And there, I mean, a number of distractions that can be are phenomenally high.
Hi.
And
Yeah.
टंग करके एक आवाज होगा मोबाइल में, their mind is off.
Okay.
And even if the mobile is on silent, many times they keep it on vibration mode. And
Right.
vibration में तो गर 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 करता रहेगा, उसका आंख तो उधर है. He will not be listening to the faculty. He will be as if a message is coming from NASA, join tomorrow. So that is the way they are tuned.
Right.
So
Right.
even if it is a very trivial message coming on WhatsApp, that takes precedence over what is going on in the class, and this has become habit. It's a habit.
Right.
So if you as a professor today, if you feel that the way you have been conducting your classes 10 years back, you can do it the same way and also keep the students engaged in the class, not going
Not a
to happen.
possibility. Yeah.
So that is why extracurricular is very important. Co-curricular is very important. Activities are very
Hmm.
important. Role plays are very important.
Yeah.
Simulations are very important. Real life games are very important. Today's students learn more from activity
Taken.
when they are themselves participating in some kind of knowledge, accumulation process. That is why we also acknowledge that we have definitely component of theory, but we
Mhm.
try as far as possible to create a lab environment to engage our students to help them learn more.
Okay. I think well said by sir over here. And certainly, extracurriculars are playing a humongous role in today's time. And one more question, perhaps not connected to this, sir. We have been educating students immensely about the NIRMA universities selection process and everything. But yes, if it comes directly from the horse's mouth, they would be in a better position to understand and comprehend it. I would like to understand what is the selection process and how do you exactly admit students for
Okay.
this BPMB program? Yeah.
So there is no rocket science about it.
Yeah.
So we have approximately 50% weightage on the IPMAT, I mean, scores.
Of course.
And I think we have a cutoff of 125.
And sectional cutoffs are also there. So Nirma University is perhaps one
Yes.
institute apart from IIM Indore that's
I,
emphasizing on sectional cutoffs.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
There are sectional cutoffs also. But we have 30% weightage on interviews. The
Okay.
interviews that we take are not as tough and as competitive as MBA interviews. But we just try to understand the overall mindset of the student, whether the student has a learning attitude or arrogance. We try to understand the behavioral aspects, how flexible the person is, whether he will be able to adjust to our systems and so on. For example, uh, as everybody knows, we are a vegetarian campus.
Yeah.
Okay. And then whether a student who is coming from somewhere else will be able to cope to stay without parents, without all that
Right.
support on his own. Though we have everything there on the campus, even then, these are few things we try to understand.
Right.
So it is not so much on the intellectual capability because students are generally smart these days. But then we just try to uncover the mask if they are wearing any, and we try to go slightly deeper to understand where the student is coming from, what is the extent of flexibility the student has, what is the ego component the student has, and whether the student will be amicable to the changes and the requirements that we have. These are a few things. It is not a very
All
I
right.
mean, very technical interview as such.
Okay. And the rest 20 part is being given, 20% part is being given
Academic,
to the past academics.
overall academics.
Overall academics. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So fair points being made and clearly being said by the sir that the interviews are taken and 30% a major component is given to the interviews. But yes, the objective behind taking that particular interview is to assess the overall personality of an individual and whether he will be able to tune into the surroundings, which may be difficult for someone who is actually not tuned to the vegetarian circumstances और something and you know कुछ arrogant students भी होते हैं उनको भी hide करने का एक अच्छा जरिया बन जाता है. Now moving ahead, I would like to ask you the direct question, sir, and it may be tough. So,
Mhm.
you know, what kind of opportunities, you know, both in terms of placements and entrepreneurship, is NIRMA University giving to the kids? What have been the
Yeah.
average placements this particular year? Because I got to know that this was the first batch in 2024 that got placed, and in particular, BBMBA students were taken by companies. How well? What was the response of the companies for these
Yeah, yeah.
kids? Yeah.
So you know what? There are two aspects to the whole story,
Mhm.
and I don't want to mince words here.
Right.
The industry
Mhm.
still is not very adoptive
Mhm.
to accept students from the IMBA batches.
All right.
Just like just like the industry took a lot of time to accept 1 year MBA. They said, hey, 1 year MBA क्या होता है? MBA तो 2 साल का है.
Mhm.
But then a lot of schools, especially as you rightly said, I come from SPGen, XLRI, MDI, all
Mhm.
these big institutions, they always had a 1 year MBA program. And industry was not willing to take 1 year MBA program. We went and argued and we explained
Mhm.
that, look, these are guys who are coming with 5 years plus work experience.
Mhm.
What are we going to teach them in 2 years? They have
Right.
already learned lot of things.
Mhm.
So similarly, when a new program IMBA is there, many industries they say that, oh, we want a CAT score, we want a this and that and all that. So we have taken certain steps, and we have asked our IMBA students from now on to also have a CAT score
Okay.
after they complete BBA, to
Mhm.
also have a CAT score, because there are quite a few companies who, before the selection process starts, they say, please send the CAT scores.
That's good as well. All right.
So now that is one way for them to discriminate and to differentiate IMBA students from the regular MBA students.
But I am facing this. I'm getting this particular information, a piece of information from you only, sir, because this hasn't been informed to me by the other authorities from the IIMs. Perhaps are they doing a differential treatment
No,
for?
no, no, no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no.
Okay.
I mean, this is true for all companies. Actually, the top companies, they do ask for
That scores.
CAT scores or GMAT scores or something like that. Now, by default, an IMBA student is integrated, BBA MBA student, or BCom MBA student, or BTech MBA student. So these students are automatic entry to the MBA process. So
Taken.
then they don't need to appear for a CAT because they are already trained.
Right.
Okay, so they don't need. But companies don't understand that. Companies feel that I want students only who have come from a CAT pool or a GMAT pool and so on. So just to keep the company's interests in mind,
Hmm.
we are now, from this year, we are planning to train our students also just before they start their MBA, to train our students in CAT or GMAT, because
Yeah.
CAT is once a year, GMAT is open. So
Okay.
we are training our students for GMAT so
Mhm.
that they appear for GMAT and get a good score, so
Taken.
that they can't say that we differentiate on this ground. Okay.
Okay.
Now, having said that, if you ask for what is the differentiation between the formal, I mean, the 2 year MBA students and the IMBA students, before we come into the placement part, let me tell you, the IMBA students go through a 5 months of internship as compared to the MBA students who go for 2 months of internship. This actually opens for them uh, bigger opportunities, because when you have worked for a company for 5 months plus,
Mhm.
it opens a lot of perspective. In 2 months, even to understand where is the office, you take 2 months, and to understand the people there, 2 months are gone. I mean, practically an internship for an MBA student is just eyewash. But
Right.
here it is not an eyewash. It's a long period of 5 months and extensive on-site internship. So that training happens quite well and quite strong. And now, as far as placements are concerned, um, we as an institute do not see any difference in the placements. In fact, in most cases, we have seen the IMBA student placements is slightly sometimes
Better.
better than the MBA students placement. And that too because we got an opportunity to nurture them and train them for 5 years as compared to only 2 years for MBA students.
So how did you overcome that particular difficulty? Because you know, I would like to I would be asked these questions from the students itself. How did you overcome the difficulty of the CAT scores with the current set of companies for this particular year?
Yes, yes. So initially, for the first couple of years, we had company, as I told you, we had companies who were asking for CAT scores.
Right?
So now from this batch, we are saying that, well, we have a bunch of students who are even brighter, and we have two categories of students: CAT scores and GMAT scores. So
Okay.
now we have a bunch of students who have GMAT scores.
Okay.
But interestingly, many of our IMBA students have also appeared for CAT,
Mhm.
even if we may not have told them, but they have appeared for CAT. Okay.
Okay.
So if they have a very good CAT score, we take the CAT scores, and if they have GMAT scores, we provide GMAT
Okay.
scores. So when we present students to the company, we don't differentiate students that, oh, this is from IMBA lot, or this is from BTech MBA lot, or MBA lot, total
Right.
MBA. We present the students based on their requirement.
Okay.
And it is no way possible for the company to differentiate that a student is from IMBA or from MBA or any of that. So
Mhm.
that way, it is like we are trying to make it as unbiased as possible.
All right.
So, but then, even then, when we analyze statistically, we find that the IMBA students, some of them fresh, I'm comparing fresh to students.
Okay.
We find that the IMBA students are in many cases performing better than the MBA students who are equally fresh. You know, maybe somebody has done BCom honor somewhere else and have joined MBA student. Compared to that kind of a student, an IMBA student is getting a better opportunity or even a better salary.
The better way of answering this particular question could be, if you can quote, I may be, sounding very, very tough over here. If you can
Mm.
quote some figures over here, I mean, that can be a great help for students, audiences, the
So
average
just
packages and all. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Or
just
you can deny also if you do not want to.
no. I can give
Yeah,
you certain
please.
examples. For example, JP Morgan
Yeah.
came to campus, I think a month back,
Mhm.
and they specifically said, they interacted with both kinds of students, MBA and IMBA students, and I don't know what we did not discriminate, but they picked up the IMBA students, I don't know how,
Mhm.
and they said that these students I found smarter and better for my type of company, and they actually selected only the IMBA students and not the MBA students,
Taken.
without knowing the discrimination. Like that, lot of, like, I can talk about Kotak Mahindra Bank also, Infosys for that matter.
Yeah.
We had BTech MBA students,
Mhm.
also IMBA students. So they have selected, Infosys selected a lot of IMBA students that way. Then you have Adani Wilmar
And then
selected a
very
few
much.
students like that. So I think there is no that way any differentiation
Okay.
between MBA and IMBA students being selected. At the end of the day, all the students are placed. And if I compare the salary structures, there is no statistically significant, difference between the salaries of the MBA students and the IBA students. And average package of the IMBA students is close to, I think, will be close to 12,500. Sorry, 12.5 lakhs.
12.5 lakh per. All right. So great points being made and clearly being stated that 12.5 lakh has been the average salary of the integrated program students over here. My next question to you, sir, is your area of forte, sir, and that is, yeah, that has been the international collaborations. So do we have some foreign exchange opportunities for current set of students, or are we seeing that in the near future?
Okay, so one immersion program that I've started, and it was a easy thing for me to do because at SPJMR we had Michigan State University
Right.
that was offering immersion of 3 weeks to SPJMR students, and the whole batch. I mean, we had there. It was compulsory at SPJN. So here I got the same with Michigan State, and I'm happy to say that 35 of our students, this is the document there. So
Great.
35 students are going to Michigan State University from this year onwards,
Great.
and it is for a period of 3 weeks, prior to which they have 2 weeks of online training, and then they complete 3 weeks, and then they come back at a very, very nominal rate. So this is the first immersion. We have three from next year. We are starting three different formats of immersion.
Okay.
One is a 3 weeks immersion with Michigan State University. The second is a 3 months immersion with UC Davis, University of California, Davis.
Okay.
And there could be also a uh, 6 months immersion with again UC Davis.
6 months as well. All right.
6 months immersion also is there. three
Okay.
months immersion 6 months immersion is also there with
Mhm.
UC Davis, and at very very reasonable costs we are
Okay.
offering this. And there is another very interesting thing that we are starting this year. For the new batch, we are starting a new program called GMBA, Global MBA program.
Great
and
announcement. Yeah. Okay,
and
sir.
in that, what we are planning, and this is the first open platform we are talking about it because
Mhm.
we are yet to officially announce it. But then we are starting with this, and we are going to select a very short cohort of 40 to 50 students where they will do the first year with us.
Mhm.
It is kind of a dual degree. Not a kind, it is a dual degree. They will do the first year with us at NIRMA, and the second year they will do with one of our four partner schools.
Mhm.
uh, Michigan State University, University of California, Davis, UC Davis, or
Okay.
University of Illinois, Chicago.
All right.
And the fourth is Brandeis University, Brandeis International Business School in Boston.
Okay.
And they
Would
are
like to
offering.
ask you any such thing. I'm sorry interrupting you in between because I'm too much excited for my set of kids. So any such opportunity coming for the UG students as well in the near future?
Yeah, for UG students, we are proposing something called a 2+2 model, where they
Okay.
complete the first 2 years
All right.
with NIRMA, and the
Hmm.
second 2 years they can complete with one or two of the UIC or Brandeis. They can do it. Okay.
Great. So, if I can have a document of that, because I'll be taking a live and will be informing to the set of students, would like to know more about it because certainly a lot of students are
So
on
these,
super grads. Yeah. Yeah.
for the 2+2 model, it is slightly and I wouldn't say difficult, but it is slightly cumbersome because for 2+2 model, each university does mapping of the courses. They
Okay.
try to track the CGPA of the student and all of that. Okay. And then they allow the student to get the transfer. Okay. So it
Okay.
is not an automatic process. It
Okay.
depends on their percentage scores. Now, if any student has failed to get 3.25 CGPA, then it will be difficult. Okay. So a particular percentage of CGPA is required. Mapping of courses are required. So suppose a student wants to take certain courses over there for the 2+2 model of, say, in business analytics or supply chain management, and if he has not done well in the courses in the first 2 years, then perhaps that will not be possible. So for the 2+2 model, we have two universities who have agreed for it. That is what I mentioned: University of Illinois, Chicago, and Brandeis International Business School in Boston.
Okay.
So both of them have agreed. Formally, they have agreed, but
Okay.
of course, the students will require to have the basic CGPA,
Hmm.
without which it is not possible.
That would not
So
be
it
a
is not
possibility. Okay.
automatic कि 2 साल खत्म क्यों चला गया.
Chalo.
ऐसा नहीं है. You have
Uh,
to have your right percentage marks, and then they will interview you, and then they will admit you. But yes, we have the channel open from this year
this
onwards.
year onwards. All right. I think, and I'll also connect with you after this particular call. I will take the brochure and everything, and so that I can communicate to my kids via YouTube as well, sir. So now, next question I would like to ask you, is very direct. You have been known for scholarships and internships. So first, if you can throw some light on scholarships that you're providing to the IMBA students, and second, on the internships as well.
Internship is very, very powerful with us.
Hmm.
Our corporate connect is also very good.
Hmm.
And because these are IMBA students, younger students, so uh, you know, uh, we don't even wait for the students to come up with their internships. We have our placement cell. Sorry, and they take total responsibility of placing all the IMBA students for 5 months of internships. And these are all very, very selected companies, and all of them do well in these internships generally.
All right.
And many companies, I was giving you the example of JP Morgan, then Tata AIG, Amul is there.
Cool.
Amul is there. Heidelberg Cement is there. A lot of these companies, they take interns, and if they do really well in the internship, many of them actually eventually offer them a job. They may
Okay.
may not take it, but then
Great.
they they do offer job if they like the students or in during the internship period. Basically, they try to try to ensure that the student has a good attitude, learning aptitude, uh, gels well with people and all that. Rest of the office related training they provided, so that way there is no issue. So that is the internship part. And regarding scholarship, we do offer a lot of scholarships, but let me tell you, we don't do scholarships on a bulk basis. We, if there are, even if we are offering say 40 or 50 scholarships, we evaluate each and every case one by one.
Okay.
Okay. We offer two kinds of scholarship. One is the merit based scholarships,
Right.
and the other is economic background, financial scholarship.
Right.
So based on financial condition or economic condition, we if you I mean, write to us giving all documentary evidence, then we offer economic scholarships. And the other scholarship is merit based. If you have done really well in your studies, we can also offer merit based scholarship. But as I said, each and every scholarship depends on, there's a committee there, and the committee takes a call one by one.
One by
It
one.
is never bulk thing.
Okay.
So the scholarship that one student gets cannot be matched with वो आदनाम सामी का गाना है ना,
हाँ.
ऐसे वैसे को दे दिया मुझे
मुझको भी
मुझे
लिफ्ट
भी
करा
थोड़ा
दे.
लिफ्ट करा दे, तो वो you can't compare with ऐसे वैसे.
हाँ,
Uh,
right.
you might also get the lift, but the
Okay.
lift is not comparable
Not comparable.
because the
Right.
committee decides. It
हाँ.
is not a single person who decides. There is a proper set of people, senior faculty who decides on it.
Who decides on it? All right. I think there has been a lot of questions already asked by me, and I have been in this particular industry from long, but there were a lot of surprise elements being told to me today. So let's have a final piece of advice from Devasis sir now. So what would be your advice to current set of students who are right now in standard 12th or have taken a year's drop right now?
Advice for what? I mean, from which perspective?
From the perspective of life overall. Yeah.
Oh, that is a very strong, very big question. Okay, one thing that I would strongly recommend, especially students who are going for any kind of a management degree, is to be your true self, not to fake.
Correct. Right.
Don't wear a mask. Be yourself. And I have practiced this throughout my life. And believe me, I have not failed,
Right.
or circumstances did not fail me.
Mhm.
Okay, that is one very important aspect. Second, most of these IMBA students or MBA students are smart. So don't try to find out shortcuts to success.
Taken
There is actually no shortcut to
to
doing
success. Yeah.
well in life.
To well.
Okay. I mean, you may say that, oh, today in AI, age of AI, you actually don't need to do a lot of things. But you know what? If you do a lot of things, you learn a lot of things. If you ask AI to do, AI learns, not you.
Not you. Correct.
And AI actually learns. AI learns and AI learns how to do better and better.
And
It is not
adapts.
you who learns. Okay. So when a professor asks you to prepare a presentation and make a presentation in the class, don't ask AI to do it on your behalf, because that is a temptation. I mean, Adam and Eve also ate that apple, and because of which temptation is there everywhere.
Everywhere.
So now it is up to you as a human being how much you can control your temptations.
Correct.
And I mean, in our age, we did not have these shortcuts because they were not available.
Available.
Today's era, you have those temptations, and yet to control yourself and do the hard work and not take help from various sources is very difficult, very challenging. But I would strongly recommend you to learn hands on yourself, because that is what you will be evaluated when you are finally in your job.
Right. Right. Thank you, sir. And I think in this particular interview, the one thing that spoke every time was the authenticity. And that was evident from scratch to finish part of this particular interview. Devasis, sir, this interview will be remembered for long. And thank you for representing NIRMA University for the very first time on Supergrads platform. And that too very beautifully. Thank you, sir.
Another thing before we close the call,
Yeah.
one thing which is very, very important, um, and I strongly practice and believe in it, is humility.
Right.
Okay.
Humility is needed.
The moment arrogance creeps in, that is the path of, you know, failure.
Failure.
That is not the path of success. That is the path of failure. Humility, the more you learn, the more you
Become
proceed,
more humble.
progress in life, the more you should become humble.
Yeah. So
And if your teachings, if your learnings do not make you humble, then I think you are in a wrong track. Thank
thank
you
you,
very
sir.
much,
So humility
and
is the
thank you
best
for talking
trait
to us.
of on this planet. With that particular thought, we'll close this particular interview. Thank you, Debasis, sir.